Welcome, guys, to the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Stay On Course podcast. I'm excited to welcome the host of the Stay On Course podcast, Julie Riga. Julie, how are you? And I'm excited about our guest, and we're going to talk about spirit of friendship today. How are you, Julie?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited about this interview.
Absolutely. So we're excited to welcome Jeremy London to the program. Jeremy, thanks for stopping by. Spirit of friendship. It made me definitely think about things. I said this is the week of uh, of talking about remembrance and death because of this film, and also I reviewed Running on Empty this week. I had a guest on that's coming out in Lionsgate. So go figure with those two different things. But Jeremy, thanks for stopping by.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Appreciate
go
it.
Julie with your first question.
All right, Jeremy, you've had a career spanning television, film. Tell us a little bit about what drew you to getting into acting.
What drew me to getting into acting? I think that it's just it was in my DNA. I don't think that I ever saw myself doing much else. I think that I wanted to be a psychiatrist and psychologist for a while. But I just kind of always knew I was going to be, I've just always been an artist, one form or another. And I just started doing plays in school, and that led to connections in the film industry, and I haven't looked back. Now, the problem is I'm 51 now, and I don't really know if I'm qualified for much else. I'm kidding. Actually, I'm an artist, and have an acting school, and a gardening business, and all kinds of other things. But I'll always be an actor.
Thinking about that, your passion, all those different things in school, acting. Were you in sports and stuff too? And where
Oh
did you
yeah,
grow up? Where
I
did you
was
grow
an
up?
I grew up in Texas and Oklahoma, back and forth kind of. But I was always a baseball player. I was a catcher for 14 years. But I played football and basketball and golf, and I'm an athlete now. I play disc golf religiously, and so I'm still an athlete. But I blew my leg out. I was made the Texas All Star baseball team, and in our second game, I blew my hamstring out, and actually the only then I couldn't. I literally barely could walk, and so I started taking drama in high school because of the injury. So the injury actually in sports led to me just starting to take drama in school.
Amazing. Jeremy, I mentioned to a couple of my friends that we were interviewing you today, and they were like, oh my gosh, I had the biggest crush on Jeremy London. From Party of Five, Seventh Heaven, Mallrats, all these amazing shows. And tell us, is there something that you did way back in the past, in the heyday, where it was just like the best thing you ever did?
The acting wise.
Yes.
Yeah, the most fun I've ever had making a movie is I did a movie I did called Journey to the Center of the Earth, which was a two-part miniseries I did in Australia and New Zealand in the
Wow.
90s. And I got to be there for like 4 months.
All right. So, The Spirit of Friendship, we had a chance to preview the movie, and it was amazing. By the way, I cried at the end. I don't, Neil, did
Did
you?
you?
I
I
did.
did
I
not
did
cry,
cry.
Good,
but I thought
Well,
about things.
I'll tell you why I
good.
cried, and then I want to hear the backstory about why this movie, because my father passed away, and we all have somebody
Yeah.
that has passed away, right? And so my whole mantra with people was that although my father's gone, I carry him in my heart. And through that thought, his legacy lives on. And so I've been telling people this for a long time. So that's why I started crying, because this was my message to other people. So I'm just curious, like, how you came across this movie. How did this all get started for you?
Well, they reached out to me, and then I read the script, and I just thought it was very heartening, very sweet story. And the folks that made it are lovely, Danny and his family, and I love Connecticut. I just everything about it was sounded like a very positive thing to be a part of. And
Yeah.
we all have those. Now I'm a father now, and the idea of leaving my children hurts my heart to think of them missing me because I know we're tight like that, you know what I mean? And so immediately I think of these children that do lose their parents when they're young, and how hard that must be, you know. And that part of it breaks my heart, you know. That aspect of the story, the needing to reach out and communicate with the mom thing is very, it's just very human and very real. And he just wants so badly for him to be able to connect with his mom. You know, you want it to happen. You
Yeah,
want
you do want it to happen.
this mystical thing to happen, you know. And so I think there was a lot of that too, you know. And the reveal is, you know, I think that's not what everybody expected, because I fully
100%.
expected.
Right, and I don't want to give it away
No,
here
no,
either.
no,
We
no.
don't want to give
He's
away
not. He's doing a good
I'm
job
not.
of teasing it.
No.
So let's talk about Jeremy. I mean, basically, I think the thing that's the big heartfelt thing is he wants to conjure up his mom, to speak to his mom in more of a magic way, right? And that
Yeah.
whole process and how it shows friendship too, this movie, in so many
Yeah.
ways.
It's loneliness. I mean, you know, the kiddo's lonely, but so's the older gentleman that lost his wife. You know what I mean? It's we that aspect of the reality that we live in is probably, you know, sort of one of the things that scares me the most. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm very glad that I found my person. You know, I don't want to grow old by myself and alone and all of that. But I also know that we get old and we get sick, and sometimes we wind up alone. Whether you know, we don't plan on any of this stuff, you know. But I think that it sort of just plays on that the notion that, you know, we don't have to be alone, you know.
Yeah, that really shows the love story of finding your right person. And so many, when you agree, Julie, that as well.
Yeah, it is. It's just the idea of connection is really what it was all about. And the son was really looking for his father to connect with him and to allow him to have that memory of his mother, to be connected to her, even if it wasn't that he wasn't able to really speak to her. The Leonard character really helped bring back that idea that you can still have those moments and remember them and keep them close to your heart, because as time goes on, they're always connected to you if you remember them in your heart. And so that's the beauty of the whole entire movie, which I just really loved. I cried. I really did cry at the end. I just sat there, and sometimes I get like this ugly crying thing because I had this great relationship with my father and I lost him as an older person, but you still always have those parents, you know, right with you, because you can still hear their voices, you know.
Well, I'm glad to know that the movie moved you in
Yeah, it did. It did. Totally did. And I think that it will help people heal from loss. I think that's the most important thing, is that, you know, we don't talk about this enough. And that's the beauty of this movie, that if you're going through a loss and that you've had somebody close to you die, that you don't have to let them go completely. You can keep them alive in your heart. And that is the story of the movie. And that is the spirit of friendship.
It is. It is. You know,
And
I think Danny's got a good heart. The filmmaker's got a good heart. He's a sweet guy. He's an empathetic guy, you know. And so he made a sweet movie, which doesn't get made very often anymore. People are, you know, trying to go for the big bucks with making horror films or sexually related movies, just things that are just, you know, a dime a dozen, you know. So I think that he kind of took a risk in making such a sweet film, because, you know, it's a very targeted audience. You know, not a lot of people like to consume wholesome things. It's nice to be a part of wholesome things every now and then.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Totally. So what are the projects you have going on right now?
Right now, I don't have anything going on. I just finished a couple of films. I've got a movie about to come out called Boneface, that I'm busy being grandpa to this one right now.
Oh.
And my son's here for the summer, so I kind of take the summers off mostly. But I paint a lot. You can see some of my art in the background there. I do a lot of painting, so I mostly paint. I'm mostly an artist these days.
Wow.
I sell a lot of paintings, and so I paint a lot, and then I make movies in the interim, and I still teach online, London Arts Acting School, and when COVID hit, we started a garden in our backyard that has now turned into a food forest. And so we started a company where we make pepper jelly called London's Most Wanted pepper jelly, and you can find us on Etsy. It's got some of my art and other things that we make at London's Most Wanted on Etsy. And so, I'm just trying to do a lot of things that I would not be able to do if I was in Los Angeles. But it's also I found my person. I found my person here in Mississippi, so I'm able to do all these. I'm able to thrive and do all these things that are life giving to me.
Well, and that's exactly important. And you found your person, you found your passion and a point, and you continue to do what you love, and you can choose and pick and choose. Especially like you said, there's not much going in the summer, and we know a lot of projects are finally going to come back, hopefully in the fall, with new projects because of the next strike that you guys dealt with, but you're
Oh
getting there.
Lord,
And
yes,
at least that's gotten hopefully finished. But
yeah,
but I really like that, with the product, your opportunity, you have a huge fan base that you can jump and grab to, that people who love Jeremy London and want to, remember him from those specific areas. And do you ever do the Comic Cons? Do you do those
oh
sometimes?
yeah, oh yeah, all the time.
That's the best place.
Yes.
It's crazy how people like from the Little House on the Prairie and all that, they just live off of that all the time. And then that's their gigs.
Yeah, yeah. Brian O'Halloran from Clerks, my buddy, my in the View Askew world, my Mallrats buddy. He makes probably 99% of his money from conventions. So they're a good stream of revenue for actors.
So whenever you do it, you take your jelly, you get a QR code, put it on your phone, and then everyone will go buy that when you do the next autograph
Oh,
session.
it's impossible to haul around jelly, so I have cards that I send people. If you want to try it, there's a QR code. Find us, we'll ship it to you.
Everyone needs to is a big fan of yours. We appreciate you coming by.
Thank
Again,
you.
it's the movie will be out in August. Appreciate it, Jeremy. Thanks again, Julie. And that
Thank
was
you.
a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Stay
Thank
On
you.
Course podcast, guys. Take care.
Thank